Hello and welcome to this week's episode of IPoly. I'm Angel. To kick off this episode, let's get to learn about Janet, IPoly's custodian.
Hi, my name is Kia and I'm here with...
Janet, the custodian from high school.
And we're here to ask her a few questions. So how do you feel about working at IPoly?
It's actually different than working in the actual office building. I actually transferred from the Downey facility to the high school because it is closer to my home. I live in Apple Valley. And it's different, and I actually like it. I like it.
Awesome. So now that you're in like a high school environment, how do you like working at an actual high school?
Well, it's a lot of people. It keeps me busy, that's for sure. You know, I'm constantly moving around, meeting new people, getting to know the students, getting to know the staff, getting to know the time schedule for everybody, and it makes it a little easier for me to work around the staff and the students. I enjoy it. I have a little bit more freedom here than I would if I was working in the actual Downey facility.
That's good. And so how long have you been working for LACO?
I actually have been working for LACO for 15 years.
Oh wow, that's really awesome. What are your favorite parts of your job?
The freedom that I have to be able to move around, that I'm actually outside. I enjoy seeing the animals. It's a different environment. Instead of just being stuck inside a building, I'm actually outside. You know, I see the trees, the animals, the people, the atmosphere. I enjoy it. Like I said, I have a little bit more freedom to plan my own schedules instead of being on a routine schedule all the time, because on a daily basis, everything do change from one day to another.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and everyone here at IPoly really appreciates all your efforts. Thank you.
Thanks. Next, let's learn about one of the electives offered at IPoly this semester.
Hi, my name is Miguel, and I'm here with
Miss Tennis.
and we're going to be discussing the reintroduction of film creation to the IPoly electives. So, Miss Tennis, I know that with film creation back, we have to make these scenes in your class, and with masks as a precaution to COVID, I know like components will be a lot different, but how do you think it's going to impact the overall class in general?
There's not a whole lot that's going to change. It's still the basic door scene and the PSA and the scenery creation. The mask, of course, we have to make sure that we can hear on film. So muffling through the mask, keeping the mask on in general, where we didn't used to have to wear the mask, and just staying generally apart instead of being all crowded together in a group, or not staying quite as close as we used to.
And how do you feel about this reintroduction of the elective? Since I know you were the teacher too before pre-pandemic, how do you feel like it changes like viewing your students with their mask on versus like pre-pandemic where students didn't have masks and you could all interact differently?
It's hard, of course, to not see part of the faces because you're not really understanding what their facial expressions are as much. But I mean, it's still the same class and we're still doing the same stuff and we're still having fun and we're still filming, so that's always a good thing.
Do you think you having to use masks to film in our scenes can change the way a film can be looked at? I know facial expressions plays a big important role in how we see films. Do you think it plays a part in how the outcome of the current class will make their scenes?
Absolutely. If we're outside filming, they could take off their mask briefly, just to show relief or tension or excitement or something like that. But when we're inside, of course, we have to have them on. So yeah, of course, that's going to make a difference for the film class and the scenes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here with
Gavin.
Today we're going to interview this film creation student on things he's doing in the class and his opinion on the class as well. So Gavin, what are you working on right now in film creation?
Well, currently we're working on storyboarding for our second scene of what we call the door scene. And right now we're just writing pieces of it down that we will execute later.
And how do you feel masks will affect the outcomes of your final scenes or in general the whole class experience?
I think they greatly affect the classroom experience because not only is our film hindered because we can't visually show our emotions because we're wearing masks and whatnot, and it kind of just makes the whole process of filming a little bit more difficult because sometimes it's harder to hear your colleagues when you're working.
Thank you. I'm here with
Anna.
and Anna. Now that you're a teacher's assistant for film creation and you're a senior, how do you view this class differently?
It's definitely a lot different seeing it behind the scenes rather than there as a student. I get to see what it looks like from the beginning until the finishing product. So definitely seeing it getting put together is really interesting compared to how we did, from the start.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Next, let's learn about the new sophomore project on global collaboration.
Hey IPoly, it's Luis, and today we're going to be asking teachers and students what they think of the old 10th grade project compared to the new one. Let's take a look. Say hi and tell us who you are.
My name is Mr. Hedman, and I teach physics to sophomores.
Hi, I'm James, and I'm a senior here at IPoly High School.
Hi, I'm Mr. McKinney, and I teach 10th grade world history.
So what was the 10th grade project?
Yeah, the Olympic Games kind of got derailed because of the Cal Poly not allowing us to use the fields.
I'm pretty sure that was the Olympics, where basically we were put into small groups, and each group was basically given a country, and throughout the year we have to do research on that country through several projects like creating a website or creating a podcast. And then eventually during our PE hours, we would compete with the other countries in different sports such as volleyball, pickleball, and other like bocce ball. Just like small sports so we could show our competitiveness for each country. And each country would eventually win a certain amount of medals, and that will go towards your house medals.
So the 10th grade project used to be the Olympics project, or we called it Global Competitions. It was composed of students getting individual countries. They would research those countries, they'd put a website together, and then at the end of the semester we'd do a really fun Olympics games where the students would compete as their countries against other countries, and we'd give out awards and medals at the end.
What do you think of the new 10th grade project?
It's called Global Collaboration, and it's basically like a Model UN.
So the 10th grade project this semester has changed, and a lot of this has to do with students getting access to the fields to do the actual Olympics. So we pivoted to a global collaborations project. So rather than the students coming at the end and competing against each other, we're going to have the students come together in a Model UN type scenario where we're going to give them specific problems and they have to work together as their countries to solve global problems. So we're moving from a more competitive based project into one that's more about collaborating and cooperating together.
That sounds extremely boring, I'm going to be honest, compared to the Olympics. Because the Olympics, you were allowed a lot more freedom, basically, and you're allowed to run around and move around. And you're competing against one another, so there's a lot of competitiveness in the air, and then you'd also compete for your individual self as well.
Out of the two projects, which one do you prefer?
I do like the current project. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, but maybe we could do both in the future. One semester, one another semester.
Although I haven't seen like the new project, I would probably prefer the old one, especially since we were cut off from it due to COVID.
If I could go back in time, which one would I keep? It'd probably be better to go in the future to answer that question, to see how this one's going to end up. I'm hopeful for this project. I think working together collaboratively is what IPoly is about. I think that really kind of epitomizes what our goals are as a school. But at the same time, I did really like watching students compete in bocce ball. That was a highlight. So maybe I don't know. That might be more of a personal thing though than overall as a school. So I have high hopes. Hopefully this project at least lives up to the global competition.
Thank you for the interview.
Bye-bye.
Now back to the news desk.
I'm Angel, and this has been your episode of IPoly.